This clip is brought to you by 8 Sleep Mattresses, the temperature-controlled Tesla of beds that automates your sleep. Sleep better and enjoy this clip.
So we have some experience with fasting. I think Nsima and I'm not sure if Andrew still messes with it, but oftentimes we fast for 12 hours, 16 hours, depending on the day. I think Nsima sometimes still does like 1 meal a day.
Yeah.
You've had some conjecture against fasting, and we've also experienced where we kind of over fasted, where we felt like, oh shit, I think I went a little too far with that. Maybe we did a little too long for too many consecutive days in a row and things like that. What have you kind of found out about fasting?
Yeah, so I would say that it falls in a similar category to me as like a low carb approach. And so what I mean by that is I think that it's a situation where we are treating a symptom and not actually fixing the root of the problem. So if somebody is feeling better when they fast than when they eat, I would say that's probably a sign that something negative is happening when you're eating, as opposed to the idea that the fasting itself is beneficial. So I would say it's more of a situation where we are relieving the negative, we're removing the negative input, as opposed to providing a positive input. And so my goal there, my approach would be to instead fix the foods that we're taking in to support digestibility, also maybe fix our gut health, consider the factors in terms of digestion, stomach acid, bile flow, our motility, digestive enzyme production, and then, make, in addition to adjusting the diet, and see how far that takes us. Because if we're feeling better without food in our intestines, that probably means that we are feeling relief from either the toxin production I was referring to earlier or inflammation in the intestines. And so we would want to fix that from happening on a regular basis, as opposed to just avoiding the issue with fasting. And there are a couple of other reasons why fasting can be beneficial. I would say that's the main one, is basically a relief from poor gut health and potentially poor food intake.
Quick question.
Yeah.
And don't forget, you were about to talk about the other things that people find relief from fasting for, or use fasting for relief from. Anyway, when you were mentioning like you feel better while not fasting than when you're eating, I mean, I could be wrong, but I don't assume that most people pick up the habit of just time-restricted feeding, not eating for 12 or 16 hours because of digestive issues. Maybe some people do. More people, I think, start doing it because they think it's going to help with caloric restriction. It's going to help them restrict their calories and eat less. That's why most people start it. And what we found is that by implementing that habit, because we are all big eaters, like we can eat quite a bit, and I feel good when I eat. So it's like, it's not a digestive thing, but the habit of always reaching for food when you feel like you're hungry and feeling a level of discomfort when you are hungry, right? So you always have to act upon that hunger. That's something that I think that helps a lot of people, because now they're not always reaching for something when they feel hungry. It's less of a...
I think what he was referring to, and I don't want to speak for you, but I think what he's referring to is people sometimes talk about how in the middle of the day, if they eat, they feel like crap and they try to go back to work and they're tired and sluggish. So kind of in the realm of digestion, but kind of in the realm of just like,
fogginess or something, huh?
Yeah, sometimes people feel tired, and maybe that was a little bit what you're referring to.
That's a piece of it. I agree that most people are not doing it with the intention of saying, I have a gut issue and this is the way I'll fix it. Some people certainly are.
Yeah, definitely.
But I would say, a lot of people aren't. I would just say that that's one of the main reasons why somebody would feel better or might benefit from it.
Okay.
You're bringing up a different point, which is feeling a better balance with our appetite, feeling more in control with food.
Yeah.
I think, or maybe even from another standpoint, like a mental challenge or a separation, or being able to deal with difficult things, right? That's something that people will talk to me a lot about when I say, hey, whether it's the Wim Hof breathing or the cold baths or whatever it is. And, I'm saying, I think there's some negatives there. They say, oh, well, how else am I going to become mentally tough? Right. And that is, we can kind of jump into that, but I would say that's a separate situation. And sure, we can say these things build mental toughness, but in terms of the physiology, in terms of whether they're actually benefiting us health-wise, I would say that one of the main benefits is going to come from the gut side, right? So that's where we were starting. And sure, there might be some benefits to the mental toughness. Maybe there are some benefits to the relationship with food, but I would rather fix that relationship using other means and basically coming back to sorting out those mitochondrial issues. So that way we are literally in balance with our hunger signals.
So, by the way, also, so you're saying that a better way of going about things for most people is going to be through eating balanced meals throughout your day rather than having segments of your day where you're not eating food. That is a better approach.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
And the reason why, so when it comes to the fasting, A, there's the gut benefits.
Mm-hmm.
B, there are also benefits in terms of the metabolic situation. So if somebody, and this is extremely common, if somebody does not oxidize glucose well, if they don't burn carbohydrate well to produce energy, this is basically the first thing that goes wrong anytime we have degeneration, we have some sort of insulin resistance. This is the case in virtually every chronic health disease or disorder or issue. If somebody's having trouble with that and they shift over to a low carb approach or they shift over to fasting, they're going to be running on fat, maybe some ketones as well. And that's going to relieve that problem with the glucose oxidation. So that's another area that's going to bring some benefit to the fasting. Both of those are, I guess you could say, legitimate, but as I was kind of saying before, neither are actually solving the root issue, right? So we're not actually fixing the ability to burn that carbohydrate for energy. In the second case, we're not actually fixing the gut health in the first case. And there's a major cost to fasting. And that's that because we don't have any fuel coming in, we have to get that fuel from somewhere. We have to liberate it from our own fat stores or from our own glycogen stores. And those things require stress hormones. So they require glucagon, adrenaline, and cortisol. And those, I would say, come at a major cost. If they're elevated over time, they'll tend to turn down our thyroid hormone activity, both the conversion from the inactive to the active thyroid hormone and also the production of the thyroid hormone. And then the same thing will happen with the steroid hormones as well. So it'll lower testosterone hormone production, both at the testes and also in the hypothalamus to the pituitary as well. So there are major costs to relying on these sorts of interventions long term. And short term, even though you might not get that effect immediately, we're still kind of taking a step in that direction. And so I'd much prefer to get those benefits of fasting without those costs, without that stress.
Hey guys, if you like this clip, go ahead and comment down below and let us know what you liked about it. All right. Share this with a friend. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. And also, we are on Reddit and Discord. All that's down below. All our sponsors and everyone that supports us down below there too. So you can get whatever you like from us. All right. Peace.